Hi guys, and thank you for tuning, or should I say clicking in, to another edition of Discovery with me, Glory. Today I'm going to be talking about purpose. I think everybody, the mantra out there is find your purpose, follow your passion, find your passion and follow it. If you work hard on your passion, you never have to work hard a day in your life, or, you know, there's just so much mantra and gist about passion and purpose. But then, what if you don't know what your passion is? Or you have you're multi-talented and you have quite a few passions. How do you know which one to follow? So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I thought, okay, why don't I do a vlog on how to find your passion or purpose, or, you know, whatever. And I thought it would be good for me to tell a story about how I found my passion, and then, maybe help you guys get some tips from that. So my very first tip, or actually, let me say the story first. So I remember, like, years ago, I used to say, God, I don't know what my passion is. Oh my goodness, I don't know what my passion is. I used to see people that could braid hair, or that could make clothes, or, you know, could do makeup. And I just used to think, people are so creative. Why am I not creative? You know, and it's something that really, really bothered me. So I started praying about it. And that's the first tip. So pray about it. Like, you know, ask God, what is your passion? What is your purpose? What are you put on earth to do? So that's the first thing. The second thing that happened was I went through a very traumatic period. So this is like 2-3 years of issues of different kinds: financial, emotional, mental, educational, just challenges back and forth. And at one point I felt like, I felt a real heaviness in my life. And I started writing on Facebook. So I started writing what I felt on Facebook. And then people would say, I remember one time my cousin actually commented, "Did you write this?" And yeah, the very first thing I wrote, I think, was the seasons of your life. And my cousin was like, "Did you write this?" And people were like, "You're not her relation. How do you know? How don't you know she's one that wrote it?" And she's like, "No, because she just, she didn't expect this from me." And writing for me became cathartic in a way. So it was a way of just putting my emotions down, being able to just take off everything the weightiness I felt on my shoulder, and just putting it on paper. And, that's how my writing started. I started writing for Bella Naija. I started writing for other mediums. So I guess my second tip is don't run away from trials. And I know that sounds like, who wants trials? But really, sometimes passion and purpose is birthed from trials. I've been reading a lot about this, and a lot of people will tell you that their passion, their story, their life story has influenced their leadership style or what they want to solve in the world. So don't run away from trials. I'm not saying, obviously, nobody prays for problems. Nobody prays for problems, but when they come, maybe you need to ask God, what should I be learning from this? But sometimes it's after the fact that you realize that, so this is what this was all about. So that's my second tip. Another thing I learned was, so when I started writing, I started finding new ways to express myself. So I wrote personally, and then I also wrote for public consumption. And I was very open and honest about my journey. Now, I don't advise this for everyone, because I received a lot of backlash for things I've written about myself, because people think I've overexposed myself and whatever the case is. But my point is that I started finding new avenues to express myself and new ways to communicate. And that's when I realized that I wanted to have a talk show. I wanted to have a talk show. I wanted to have a vlog. I started realizing I was passionate about women. I started realizing I had a lot of challenges with finding mentors. I started looking for women to follow, really. I started looking for, I felt dissatisfied with where I was. And I started saying, okay, maybe I could just find women that are doing different things. And that's how the Inspire series was birthed. That's how Discovery, me wanting to share my discoveries on life, that's how I birthed this vlog. And I just started finding new ways to express myself. My tip is to follow your inner promptings. Sometimes they might be distorted. You might feel promptings to go in different directions, but just trust your own pace. And I think that's what I did. I trusted my own pace. I trusted the voice I was hearing within, if that makes any sense. And I just started following it slowly, and then, I was able to do was able to do the Inspire series. I started Inspired by Glory. And I think the more you learn to trust your inner promptings, the more you learn how big or how multifaceted your purpose or your passion is. And the other thing I learned was to be confident. Because initially when I started, so writing was okay because with writing nobody sees you. And then I would get compliments and stuff. So I felt a bit confident with my writing. But when I started creating visual platforms or creating visual content, my lack of confidence was very apparent, obviously because of, the way I looked and all of that. So I was really struggling with that. So I would say, try, even though you might doubt yourself, but try and develop inner confidence. And one way of doing that is by, finding ways to practice your craft. So, do things that interest you. So maybe are you interested in baking, but you're not confident to go and open your own bakery outfit? Maybe go and learn under somebody for a while. Go and learn the tricks of the trade from somebody, read some books, go for conferences, go for seminars, go for tutorials, download some webcasts and podcasts and things like that. So basically, train yourself in the things that you already enjoy, even before you branch out. But another flip side of that coin is to do new things that you might not necessarily be interested in, but are related. I'll give you an example. So in my church, I was put in charge of events. Now, I can tell you for a fact, I had no interest, absolutely no interest in handling events. I couldn't be asked. I didn't. In fact, sometimes I'll put on events and I wouldn't go for the event because I'm not necessarily, even though I have a bit of a vivacious personality, I'm actually quite introverted. I actually like spending time with myself. So I'm not really someone that goes for events. So when they said in charge of events, I'm like, why would these people, yeah. But then, it's so funny now, Inspired by Glory does events. And I'm the one that puts that together. So sometimes, you might feel like, this thing where will I practice this? Why do I need to do this? But learning new skills sometimes is vital in pushing forward your purpose. So now, Inspired by Glory, we've had 3 events and we're about to do the 4th event. And this is for someone who had no idea about what events was. But by learning that new skill in church, it's something I've now been able to use on my platform. So I would say the tip is really try and do new things and try and go outside of your comfort zone, even in things that you may not necessarily be comfortable with. The final thing I would say about passion is that you can have more than one passion, and your passion is something that evolves. So it's not static, and because passion isn't something that you decide for yourself, it's kind of something that is given to you and that you discover. It's something that you should be patient with. You should be patient with the journey. So today your passion can be sewing. Tomorrow it might be starting a fashion brand. Next tomorrow it can be mentoring women in fashion. It's not something that is static. So be open to life, be open to new discoveries. And maybe through that you'll find your passion. I hope I've been helpful. Are you someone who recently found their passion or has been practicing their passion for years? Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section or send me an email at glory@inspiredbyglory.com. But always remember to check out our blog, inspiredbyglory.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inspired by Glory. Until next week, it will be me, Gloria Dozier, on Discovery. Bye.